Mr. Zuckerberg, you remember me, in fact, a protagonist of a book. Maybe you know that book, and the name of the protagonist, Mr. Calden. Calden is the protagonist in a book of Dave Eggert, as you know, The Circle. And in that book, it's about a big data company who is out of control. Not even the owner has control on it. And that data is used in elections. And it seems me very near to the reality. Also, the fact that maybe you have less control or no control about your own company for the moment, because you have to apologize now. I think in total, you apologize now 15 or 16 times the last decade. In 2003, you started. Every year, you have one or other wrongdoing or problem with Facebook, and you have to face the reality and to say sorry and to say that you're going to fix it. Last year, I think it was twice that you apologized, and this year, 3 times already, and we are still in the month of May, so it's a little bit early in the year. So what my point is about that is, are you capable to fix it? And if you have already confronted so many dysfunctions of the system, there has to be clearly a problem. And the only way, in my opinion, to do it, and I'm a liberal, a free marketeer, is to have public regulation to do so. I have here an Avas petition where 1 million, more than 1 million citizens in Europe ask you to do that and to accept regulation and not to continue with the idea, oh, we're going to self-regulate. And I come then to my concrete questions. The first is about the GDPR and European privacy standards. You have told that you're going to apply them, but are you telling the truth, in fact, to us? Are you telling the truth? Because since the outbreak of Cambridge Analytica, you have massively transferred European data of non-European citizens out from Europe, away from the European service to service otherwise in Europe. I have to tell you, that's against the regulation, against GDPR, and against the existing directive. The second point is Article 82 of the GDPR. You know, you have to know, Article 82 gives the possibility of compensation if there is a problem, if Facebook users were abused. May I ask you, have you an idea, will you compensate the European Facebook users as foreseen in Article 82 of GDPR? Concrete question. And what will be the amount that you will give them? Maybe the value that they have with their profile. My value, I have examined it. My value as Facebook user is $186. I thought it was more, but maybe my wife thinks it's less. And it could be less. Some of my opponents think it's less. But maybe it's a good basis. What their value is as profile could be the compensation that you give to these people based on a regulation. And my third point is about, you have given the example of Twitter, you have given the example, I think, also of Google, as some of your competitors, but it's like somebody who has a monopoly in making cars is saying, look, I have a monopoly making cars, but there is no problem. You can take a plane, you can take a train, you can even take your bike. So I have no monopoly. So there is a problem there, and I have 2 specific questions there. Could you or would you cooperate with the European antitrust authorities to examine it and to open your books so that we can see if yes or no there is a monopoly? And secondly, if you have to split off, for example, Facebook Messenger, to give you an example, and WhatsApp, and to keep then Instagram, should that be a good deal for you that you could accept? So finally, as my last point is on a more personal note, I really think we have a big problem here. And it's not solved by saying we're going to fix it ourselves. And you have to ask yourself how you will be remembered. As one of the 3 big internet giants, together with Steve Jobs, I should say, and Bill Gates, who have enriched our world and our societies. Or on the other hand, in fact, a genius who created a digital monster that is destroying our democracies and our societies for the moment. That's a question that you have to put yourself for yourself.